Welcome to day 6 of this Yin Yoga challenge with me as Hannah, your Yin Yoga instructor. You can see there's a nice sunbeam coming in through the video here. I am doing this in the evening, so it is beautiful out. And let's get started. I would like you to start in a seated posture, closing the eyes, finding your center, taking a few breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth. Opening your eyes, starting to set up for our first posture, butterfly. Putting your feet together, drawing those legs close into the body, grabbing onto those toes, maybe beginning to fall over those feet. Gently pulling yourself down without force, finding your edge in our first posture here. Feeling this into our hip flexors and groin area. Maybe even feeling this down the spine, into the neck as we curve our bodies here in front of us. Closing your eyes here, or during the entire practice, if that feels good for you. We really turn inward in our Yin Yoga practice. Find our center, find our peace. Starting to relax our nervous system. We're going to make a slight adjustment in this posture. We're just going to go into diamond pose. So just stay in this position, but slightly put those feet in front of you, making more of a diamond shape, and then bringing your arms in front of you, putting them underneath the legs here. Just feeling a bit of a different variation. Still feeling this into the hips, but you might feel it in a slightly different place. As always, taking the time here to set an intention for your practice, thinking positive thoughts, what you're looking to call in or manifest into your life, what you're looking to let go of, creating some space here on those exhales. You're almost there. Starting to remove those hands from underneath your legs, gently walking yourself back up. Taking some movement if you need to. And headed into a tabletop position. Beginning to take some cat-cow here, finding that mind-body connection. And pressing up to a downward facing dog. Pressing into those heels, pressing into those hands. Bringing your right leg up in front of you, to the sky, and then bringing it in front of you, in between the hands, dropping that left knee, softening that foot behind you into our dragon pose, or also known as lunge pose. Nice deep breaths here. Maybe you keep your hands to the side of your leg. Maybe you're able to bring your elbows all the way down to your mat. And we can bring your forehead down to the mat, finding your own unique edge. Maybe if you have blocks nearby, placing those blocks to have your hands sit on top of them, that can help as well lessen that sensation on the hip. You'll be feeling this in your left hip flexor, into the groin area. Definitely more of a challenging pose, so continuing to breathe here. Letting go, giving yourself permission to let go. We hold on to so much stress, and yoga really does help alleviate stress in the body. It just helps us manage stress better ultimately. Life is hard, and things are ever changing. And yoga really does give us the tools to surrender, to slow down, to de-stress. And when stressful situations do happen, we have the tools to cope with them better. We are already halfway there. This is such a great pose for opening up the hips. I know it's challenging now, but if you keep practicing this posture, it will become like second nature to you. It feels so, so good when you let go. Less than a minute to go. Really leaning into that breath. Don't stop breathing. When things get challenging, you keep breathing, keep it going. Really leaning into it. Last final breaths here. Slowly bringing your right foot back to meet your left. Bringing those knees together. Maybe taking some hip circles. Changing the direction here. Back to a still tabletop. Maybe a cat, cow here. And pushing yourself back up into your downward facing dog. Crossing into those heels, maybe walking the dog out. Bringing your left leg to the sky this time. Stepping it through for dragon pose on our left side. Flattening that right foot behind you. Finding a beautiful opening here. Maybe leaving your hands on the side of your body. Bringing those elbows to the mat. Find your edge. Find what feels good for you. And surrender. And stay as still as you can so you can really get into that connective tissue. Targeting our joints, our ligaments, and our bones. When we put this pressure onto our connective tissue, our bodies naturally release hyaluronic acid, which I know you probably heard of. It's actually a buzzword in the beauty world right now, but our bodies do naturally create it. So our joints and ligaments can become stiff, and when we unlock this connective tissue and fascia, we release that liquid and hyaluronic acid, bringing some more fluidity to the connective tissue, which ultimately helps us move better and feel better. You're just about halfway there. Starting to notice if this side is a bit more tight than your right. You're feeling this into the right hip flexor. So just comparing the sides here. Maybe if you're more dominant on your right leg, you hold more stress there. Maybe your left leg is carrying most of the work for you. You're less than a minute left to go here. pose that you've done in your stretch routine, maybe for 10 to 30 seconds, but it's really different when you're holding for an extended period of time. You'll start to shake, you'll feel uncomfortable. It really challenges you to stick with it, to surrender and have that perseverance. You're almost there. Slowly bringing that left foot back to your right foot, bringing those knees back together, taking those hip circles. You're going to be falling into a gentle child's pose. Whatever your body's calling for. I always think movements is the best option during these postures since we are still for so long. All right, come back to seated Siddhasana. Gonna get into the wrist here. So bring your right wrist, your right hand out in front of you. Bring your left hand to touch the right. And just gently pull down that hand. Feeling this into our right wrist, into the right forearm. Nice deep breaths here. We do so much with our hands on our phones these days, on our laptops. A lot of stress held in here. Keep the hold, keep the hold. Just checking the clock here. One last final breath. Shake it out for a moment. Put your hand out again, but this time we'll bring our fingertips back. So feeling a different variation of a stretch in the wrist and maybe underneath the forearm this time. This is feeling really tight for me right now, so just remembering to breathe as always helps. Taking the time here to be grateful for your body and everything that it does for you. We put a lot of stress and strain, and it's so great when we do give back to our bodies. Almost there. Last few breaths. You can let it go. Ooh. We don't hold it for that long, but there's definitely a big release here. Taking it to the other side. So this time left hand out and pulling on at the front of the hand. Keep it going. Almost there. A few more breaths. Letting it go. Creating some movement here. Feeling that tightness leave the body. Hand out like a stop sign and pressing on those fingertips once again. Feeling that different variation. And we're using a little bit of strength here to keep our arm up. That might be heavy. It's a lot of muscle. Almost there. letting it go. Feeling that release, feeling so good. All right, so we're going to do saddle pose next. You're gonna press those feet, sides of your body. So make sure the feet are not underneath the glutes. Then we're gonna start to walk those hands back. Up. So you might already feel this in your quadriceps. And if you want to, you can keep going even further. Down to the elbows, down to the forearms. And you can take it even one step further, going all the way onto the back. Letting those arms fall to the sides of your body. Feeling this in your quads, feeling this in the low back. Feeling this in your ankles even. A lot of times I didn't notice that it was targeting my ankles until I sat up. So if you don't feel it now, you will feel it in a little bit. Finding complete stillness here. Letting your mind chatter fall away if your mind has drifted, coming back to this present moment. The only moment that truly exists. Halfway there. Less than a minute left to go in our saddle pose. If you aren't all the way down on the floor with time, with practice, you can get here. So don't judge yourself for where you are today. Just thank yourself for even engaging in this practice, for taking care of your body. I've been doing yoga for 3 years, and for most of my life I haven't done yoga, and I'm still not a master yet, so I've gotten better, and I'm still practicing. It's a lifelong practice on your mat, so last final breaths here. And if you were on your back, starting to slowly lift yourself back up using your hands. Maybe now feeling that release in the ankles. Coming back down onto your mat for our final resting pose, Shavasana. Slowly walking your hands back behind you, finding complete stillness on your mat here. Coming back to your intention, set line, just checking in to see how the body is feeling now versus when you first started your practice today or tonight. Starting to bring some life back into the body, wiggling the toes and the fingers. Coming back up into your seated posture. Bring your hands up. Last final breath together. Bringing your hands to heart center. Thanking yourself for this beautiful practice. From my heart to yours, namaste. Again, thank you so much for joining me. I hope you feel great, and I will see you tomorrow for day 7.